Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we've found 10 stars in danger of relegation who should be snapped up by other top sides this summer. Let's go. 10. Malick Thiaw. No one will come out of Schalke's season well, but some players will escape with slightly more credit than others. The club has conceded 20 more goals than any other Bundesliga side at the time of writing, and overall lets in 2.6 a game. But despite that, there'll be plenty of suitors for centre-back Malick Thiaw, a 19-year-old Finnish German in his first year as a starter. Far from easing into top-flight football, Thiaw has set an example for his more experienced teammates this campaign, ranking 15th in the Bundesliga for defensive actions per 90 with a massive 5, and regularly stepping out of the backline to harry attackers, with 14 pressures per 90, putting him in the top 3% of centre-halves across Europe. At 6'3", he's a solid aerial presence, winning over 60% of challenges, and though his passing needs work, he rarely surrenders possession, miscontrolling and losing the ball less often than former colleague Ozan Kabak, who is now at Liverpool. One of just 6 under-21s in his position to earn over 1,000 minutes in a top 5 league this campaign, Thiaw deserves another chance to prove his quality. 9. Ainsley Maitland-Niles. With William Saliba and Joe Willock out on loan this season, you could make a case that Arsenal's best players have been at other clubs, and Ainsley Maitland-Niles could fit into that category too. The Englishman joined West Brom in January and played well despite their relegation, doing his best to prevent it by holding a team meeting before the side's 5-2 demolition of Chelsea in April. Arsenal may well have got use out of him, with injuries forcing Arteta to deploy Granit Xhaka at left back, but AMN has featured in midfield for the Baggies and shown similar defensive nous. 3.4 tackles and interceptions per 90 is a solid return, while 26 pressures leads the squad. But when he gets the ball, he's capable of bursting forward too, completing 1.4 dribbles a game, bettered only by Grady Diangana. As a consequence, West Bromwich Albion have taken 1.2 points per match when he's appeared, more than anyone else at the Hawthorns, and good for 44 points and safety over a 38-game season. 23, versatile and homegrown, Maitland-Niles has plenty of qualities to recommend him, and with Arsenal needing to raise cash this summer, he could be had on the cheap. 8. Andrea Belotti. Though they've managed to pull clear recently, Torino have suffered a messy campaign, spending a total of 15 weeks in the relegation zone. A major problem has been draws, with just 2 teams in Europe's top 5 leagues boasting more ties than their 14. But at least the poor fans have seen plenty of goals, with no side in Serie A's bottom half netting more than the Granata. The main reason for that is Andrea Belotti, now 27 and on his 6th consecutive season of hitting double figures in league play. The Italian has gone from being somewhat overrated, valued at €100 million in 2017, to vastly underrated, with a goal or assist every 149 minutes this year, the same as Marcus Rashford. Always quick to shoot, he's managing 3.3 attempts a match at present, but he's also on track for the best assist tally of his career. And he's mobile too, with 1.6 dribbles per 90. Not to mention he ranks in the top 9% of strikers for carrying the ball forward. Transfer talk around Belotti has never firmed up, but Jose Mourinho is rumoured to want the player at Roma next year, while Tottenham are interested too. If he wants a big move, now's the time to push for it. 7. Georgios Giakoumakis. It's unusual for the league's top scorer to get relegated, but that looks almost certain to happen in the Eredivisie this year. VVV Venlo are mired in the drop zone at the time of writing, having won 6 games all season, and owe a massive 62% of their goals to Georgios Giakoumakis, a 26-year-old Greek striker who only joined the club last summer. At present, Giakoumakis has netted 25 goals in 29 starts this campaign, by far the most in the league, and more than doubling his career tally to date, despite previously appearing in the Greek second tier and in Poland. That might ring one season wonder alarm bells, but the striker's XG backs up his output and his shooting is strong too, with 3 attempts a match and 90% of those coming from inside the box. He bagged a hat-trick on his debut and has hit 4 twice this year, but it's just as well that he's so prolific, with little defensive work, creativity or dribbling outside the box. Still, he's in the team to put the ball in the net, and if Venlo are demoted, it won't be Giakoumakis' fault. He can console himself with the thought that it can happen to the best. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank was relegated from La Liga in 2000, despite hitting 24 for Atletico Madrid. 6. Marco Friedl. After finishing 16th in the Bundesliga last year, Werder Bremen are once again flirting with the drop, or at least a relegation playoff, in 2021. Star forward Milo Rashica has dropped from 13 goal involvements in the league to 3, with the team as a whole going from taking 12.5 shots a game to just 10.3. But the defence is much improved, with 1.6 conceded per 90, down from an appalling 2 per 90 last season. A strong influence on that has been the progress of Marco Friedl, who plays on the left of a back three. The 23-year-old, who earned his first Austria cap in October, is extremely hard to get past, making 4 tackles and interceptions per game. And he also leads his team in blocks, showing a strong nose for danger. Not only that, but he's key to Bremen's passing game, with more completed balls into the final third than anyone else at the club. And when called upon, is strong in the air too, with a huge 64% aerial win rate. Able to feature as a left back or even a wing back when necessary, Friedl is the sort of utility player that every top side could use. And having come through Bayern Munich's academy, he'll be keen to return to an elite team soon. 5. Matias Kunya. Despite spending £124 million over the last 2 years, only exceeded by Bayern, Dortmund and Leverkusen in the Bundesliga, Hertha Berlin have endured a poor season and have spent all but the first week of the campaign in the bottom half of the table, with relegation still a realistic threat as the final day approaches. And that's with an expensively assembled strike force of Cordoba, Luca Bacchio, Piontek and Cunha, none of whom has managed even 10 league goals at the time of writing. Cunha is the youngest and best of these forwards, with his 11 goal contributions the best tally among Hertha players in 2021. Though still just 21, he's putting up a solid XG at 0.5 per 90, and good shot numbers too, with 2.8 a game. But his all-round game is the truly exciting part. Only 7 Bundesliga players can beat his 3.3 dribbles a match, and he's one of the hardest pressing attackers in the division, closing down opponents 21 times per 90 and making 3 tackles and interceptions. PSG have previously tried to buy the Brazilian, and if Hertha go down, those efforts will surely be redoubled. Expect a pricey switch before long. 4. Anthony Robinson. Despite relegation looming, plenty of Fulham players will come out of this season well, and Anthony Robinson should target a move to a bigger team. The American, linked with AC Milan before his switch to Craven Cottage, has been a virtual ever-present under Scott Parker, and has helped Fulham keep the second best defence in the bottom half, keeping pace with top 4 contenders Leicester and West Ham at the time of writing. The 23-year-old is among the most active defenders in the squad, winning possession 4 times a game, while in the air he compares well to centre-backs, winning 61% of duels. The same as Chaglar Soyuncu and Issa Diop. But it's further up the field that Robinson really shines. He completes 2 dribbles a match, third best among all Premier League fullbacks, and he passes into the box 1.7 times per 90, which is 26th in the Prem, and sits between elite passers in his position like Andrew Robertson and Reece James. Signed for just $2 million in 2020, Robinson is sure to turn Fulham a huge profit if he ends up leaving this summer, or playing a key role in their bid to return to the top tier in 2022. 3. Bryan Gil. Spanish forward Bryan Gil may not be playing in the Segunda Liga next season, as he's on loan at Eibar from Sevilla, but the 20-year-old is almost certain to end a second consecutive campaign in demotion, having finished 18th with Leganés in 2019-20. But spending the year in the drop zone hasn't hurt his reputation, as he's earned his first 2 Spain caps in 2021 and has been linked with Arsenal, Chelsea and Barcelona. 6 goals and assists in 26 games is hardly spectacular, but still respectable, given Gil's age and his team's spot at the foot of the table. And under the surface, there's plenty of promise. With 3.8 shot creating actions a game, Gil is in the top 25% of forwards, and he's showing signs of excellent vision, ranking 15th in Spain for passes into the penalty area. Physically, he's up to the challenge of top flight football too, with 18 pressures a game, the same as hard workers like Firmino and Pulisic, and he completes 2.4 dribbles a match per 90 minutes, 8th among under 21s across Europe. Thankfully, we're bound to see Bryan in a top league next year, but whether that's with Sevilla or someone else remains to be seen. 2. Lee Buchanan. The Championship has become an excellent place to shop for fullbacks. Matty Cash has had a great year, Max Aarons is in high demand, and Omar Richards is leaving Reading for Bayern Munich. And Lee Cannon could be next to make a big move. The Derby defender avoided relegation to League One by just 1 point, and has since been linked with Arsenal and West Ham, as top teams look for cheap, homegrown players post-pandemic. At 20, Buchanan remains raw, but there's plenty to like in his profile. The Englishman, who joined Derby at 9, is a solid defender, winning possession 3 times a game and completing 80% of the tackles that he attempts. And though he's only 5'9", he's no pushover in the air, coming out on top 58% of the time. Going forward, he's less effective, registering just 3 assists in 35 appearances. But he does gain ground for his side and rarely loses it, somehow winning as many free kicks as he gave away in 2021. Newly added to England's under-21 squad, Buchanan needs room to develop, but he's become a valuable commodity in the summer's market. And that could mean a dream switch comes sooner rather than later. Number 1. Hernani. We finish our list with Hernani, Parma's one shining light in an otherwise miserable campaign. The Brazilian midfielder has been the standout performer for the Serie A basement boys, notching up 7 goals and 3 assists this term. Yet he's had to feed off slim pickings, only operating at 1.2 shots per 90. As a result, his 75% conversion rate of efforts on target can't be bettered by anyone in the Italian top flight. What's surprising about Hernani's penchant for goal is that previously his best work came in the defensive third. Last season for Parma, he completed more pressures than any player in Serie A and ranked 9th for tackles with 75 across the campaign. In fact, his 10 goal involvements this season is his best return yet in a career that has taken him from Atletico in Brazil to Zenit St. Petersburg and then St. Etienne in Ligue 1. Still just 27, Hernani is clearly not done at the top level. Galatasaray are reportedly interested, so Turkey could be the next step in his European adventure. So there are 10 relegation threatened stars who are too good to go down, but who did we miss? Let me know in the comments below and we could make a part 2. Like this video, subscribe to the channel with notifications on. For more great Football Daily content, click on screen right now.